The Nazi concentration camp system stands as a chilling testament to human cruelty. From 1933 to 1945, Nazi Germany operated over 40,000 camps. These camps imprisoned millions deemed enemies of the Nazi regime. Jews, political opponents, and other minorities suffered unimaginable horrors. The camps were instruments of terror, designed to eliminate entire populations. The roots of the Nazi concentration camp system can be traced back to the aftermath of World War I. Germany's defeat in the war, coupled with the harsh terms of the Treaty of Versailles, created widespread resentment and economic hardship. The Nazi Party, with its message of national revival and scapegoating of minorities, found a receptive audience among the disillusioned and disenfranchised. Hitler's ideology, outlined in his manifesto Mein Kampf, espoused a toxic blend of nationalism, anti-Semitism, and racial purity. He believed that the Aryan race was superior and that Jews, along with other groups deemed racially inferior, posed a threat to the German nation. This dangerous ideology formed the basis for the Nazi Party's policies, including the persecution of Jews and other minorities. The Nazi Party's rise to power in 1933 marked a turning point in German history. With Hitler as Chancellor, the Nazi Party quickly consolidated its control over all aspects of German society. The Enabling Act of 1933 granted Hitler dictatorial powers, effectively dismantling the Weimar Republic and paving the way for the establishment of a totalitarian state. The Schutzstaffel, or SS, played a pivotal role in the development and operation of the Nazi concentration camp system. Originally conceived as Hitler's personal bodyguard unit, the SS, under the leadership of Heinrich Himmler, evolved into a powerful and ruthless organization. It became responsible for state security, intelligence gathering, and the administration of the camps. Himmler, a fanatical Nazi ideologue, transformed the SS into an instrument of terror and genocide. He oversaw the expansion of the concentration camp system and the implementation of increasingly brutal policies. Under Himmler's direction, the SS became synonymous with the horrors of the Holocaust. Theodor Eicke, another key figure in the development of the concentration camp system, played a crucial role in shaping the camp's brutal regime. As the commandant of Dachau, Eicke established a model for other camps to follow, emphasizing strict discipline, forced labor, and the dehumanization of prisoners. His methods, characterized by brutality and a complete disregard for human life, became the standard operating procedure throughout the camp system. The period between 1933 and 1939 witnessed a dramatic expansion of the Nazi concentration camp system. Initially, the camps primarily housed political prisoners, but the scope of imprisonment rapidly widened to encompass anyone deemed an enemy of the state. Jews, Roma, homosexuals, Jehovah's Witnesses, and individuals with disabilities were among the groups targeted for imprisonment. The reasons for imprisonment were often arbitrary and based on prejudice rather than any legitimate threat to the regime. Jews in particular were targeted simply for their religion. The Nazi regime's anti-Semitic ideology viewed Jews as a parasitic race that needed to be eliminated from German society. The expansion of the camp system was driven by a number of factors. The Nazi regime's increasing repression and persecution of its perceived enemies led to a surge in the number of prisoners. Additionally, the regime sought to exploit the labor of prisoners for economic gain. The camps became an integral part of the Nazi war machine, providing forced labor for German industries. Section 5. Factories of Death. With the outbreak of World War II in 1939, the Nazi concentration camp system underwent a sinister transformation. The camps, already places of unimaginable suffering, became factories of death. The Nazi regime, driven by its genocidal ideology, implemented the final solution: a plan to systematically exterminate the Jewish population of Europe. The death camps, such as Auschwitz-Birkenau, Treblinka and Sobibor, were specifically designed for mass murder. Prisoners were transported in cattle cars to these camps, where they were subjected to horrific selections. Those deemed fit for labor were sent to work as slaves, while the majority, including women, children and the elderly, were immediately sent to gas chambers. The conditions in the death camps were designed to dehumanize and exterminate prisoners. They were crammed into overcrowded barracks, deprived of food, water and basic sanitation. Disease was rampant and medical care was non-existent. The SS guards, indoctrinated in Nazi ideology, treated prisoners with unimaginable cruelty. The death toll in these camps reached staggering proportions, with millions murdered in gas chambers by shooting or through starvation and disease. Section 6. A World at War. The Nazi concentration camp system operated in the shadow of World War II, becoming increasingly intertwined with the Nazi war effort. As the war progressed and Germany faced labor shortages, the exploitation of prisoners for forced labor became even more central to the Nazi economy. Prisoners were forced to work in factories, mines, and on construction projects, often in brutal conditions that led to death from exhaustion, starvation, or disease. The war also had a profound impact on the conditions within the camps. As Germany suffered military setbacks, resources became increasingly scarce. Food rations were reduced, medical care dwindled, and the already horrific conditions deteriorated further. The SS guards, facing increasing pressure and demoralization, often took out their frustrations on the prisoners, becoming even more brutal and arbitrary in their treatment. Despite the horrors they faced, prisoners in the camps demonstrated remarkable resilience and resistance. They organized underground networks, shared what little food they had, and clung to hope, even in the darkest of times. Acts of resistance, both large and small, served as a testament to the human spirit's ability to endure even in the face of unimaginable cruelty. Section 7. Liberation and Justice. The liberation of Nazi concentration camps in 1945 exposed the horrors of the regime. Allied troops found emaciated and traumatized survivors. The scenes shocked the world, symbolizing human depravity. Liberation ended Nazi terror but left deep scars. Survivors faced a long journey of recovery. The Nuremberg trials held Nazi leaders accountable. Section 8. Scars on Humanity. The Nazi concentration camps stand as a chilling reminder of the dangers of hatred and unchecked power. The horrors committed within those camps warn against the erosion of human rights and the fragility of civilization. The legacy of the Holocaust shapes our world, reminding us of the importance of vigilance and compassion. Survivors play a vital role in ensuring the lessons of the Holocaust are not forgotten. They share their stories, inspiring future generations to stand against hatred and discrimination. Their courage and resilience serve as a beacon of hope, demonstrating the indomitable spirit of those who survived. The memory of the Holocaust calls us to prevent such atrocities from happening again. We must remain vigilant against all forms of intolerance and discrimination. Education fosters understanding and empathy among future generations. Section Never forget. The phrase never forget, often uttered in remembrance of the Holocaust, carries a profound weight. It is not merely a slogan, but a solemn vow to honor the memory of the victims by actively combating hatred, intolerance, and indifference. Remembering the Holocaust is not about dwelling on the past, but about using the lessons learned to create a better future. We must remember that the Holocaust did not begin with gas chambers. It began with words, with prejudice, with the dehumanization of an entire group of people. It is our responsibility to challenge hate speech, to stand up for the marginalized, and to create a world where such atrocities are unthinkable. The Nazi concentration camps stand as a stark reminder of the fragility of human civilization and the depths of human cruelty, yet they also serve as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the power of hope, even in the darkest of times. By remembering the victims, honoring the survivors, and learning from the past, we can work towards a future where such horrors are never repeated. Let us never forget.